Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Friday, May 9th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. This is a weekly bar chart. We settled above both of these formations last Friday, a week ago, setting off a long-term buy signal that is anticipated to yield later in the year the lower 150s. I'm calling it right now a 3 to 5 month objective because of the symmetry that would unfold if we were to reach up. You've got a January high and an April low, 3 to 5 month rally to 153.13. On the way up, we do have a descending two-thirds speed line on the weekly chart at 124.09, and that will have something to say about the timing of the 153.13 January high retest. If we can close over the next week or two above 124.09, this is probably a 2 to 3 month rally to 153.13. So that is the big picture. Nothing has really changed. If we were to fall away and close below, well, it's no longer 111.19. It's 109.25 on the daily chart. Right here. In fact, this is the same setup on the daily chart. That 124.09 speed line on the weekly chart is 122.55 on the daily. I don't expect to see 122.55 today, but it is and has been considered a 1 to 2 week target from a week ago when we closed above this 4-month channel top that is now 109.25. And so also on Wednesday, we pushed through and settled above the high of the low. 115.10. FYI, I'd like to see the market close the week today, Friday, above 115.10 as well. On the weekly chart, that usually has a pretty strong indication of bullish continuation, especially in combination with the fact that we've settled above these convergent, now slightly diverging channel structures between 111.19 and 112.19. So closing today above 115.10 is yet another sign of bullish continuation. The 122.55 to 124.09 region in reach by the end of next week. On the way up today, we do have 119.88 that is in reach and able to contain today's highs. 119.88 is like a 3 to 5 day swing trade I think we outlined about a week ago. It's taken a little longer than expected. 119.88 is up halfway back, 50% upside retracement from that January all-time high against the recent April low. We can top out there for a day, but if we close above it, then 122.55 is likely on Monday, which is on the weekly chart once again, 124.09. These will both drop. 124.09 will drop probably into the 121 handle next week. And this is going to be our next upward pivot point. This is also an opportunity for a 1 to 2 week swing trade if you're so inclined. In other words, it is a sale at 122.55 to 124.09. Let me back up a little bit. For those of you who've been long since last week, since the buy signal was put off, this is an area, 1 to 2 week swing traders, for you to take profit. 122.55 to 124.09 is a solid zone to at least scale out of some of your long position, if not reverse altogether. If you're a 1 to 2 week time frame swing trader, it really is a selling 124.09 and buying back into the low 110s or upper 109 area. In fact, let me get back to this chart. The descending channel top on the weekly chart at 111.19 is today, Friday, at 109.25. And it is really a range that begins at 109.37 that can, if tested, contain selling once again, not only through the rest of May, but quite possibly through the rest of the year, because we remain in a 3 to 5 month buy signal above this important area. Now, I don't expect this today, but if we were to unravel and close below 109.25, and once again, I don't see that. First off, on the way down, we've got 115.10, the high of the low on the weekly chart. That should give the market downside trouble. And even if we break 115.10, there's just so much going on in these weekly charts. Once again, we've got 112.19, 19-month channel bottom. We have 112.28 here. I think that's the same formation, but on the daily chart, I believe. And we don't really show it right now because there's only so much space in the newsletter. So I don't expect this area today, but this is our base of support that can absorb selling not only through next week, but even through May and potentially through the rest of the year. Now, if we fall back and close below the 109.25, 109.37 area, and this is a dynamic approach. I call it the dynamic approach to trend identification. This 109.25 will continue dropping next week. 109.37 will climb, at which point we have to make adjustments on the chart in terms of what we see for trend support. So we'll just see where we're at. But at this point in time, if we close below 109.25, I expect to see a good May high, 2 to 3 weeks bearish continuation then back to 97.55. And yeah, today is Friday. So if for whatever reason we close below 109.25, all bets are off. I would actually anticipate then the low 80s as a resumed 1 to 2 month objective that would be in reach over that time frame were we to close today below 109.25. But that's not going to happen. I'm speaking boldly here, and I can because we're trading in the 117 handle. So that's that. Have I said it all? Well, I have not said that this week wickedstocks.com put out 2 stock picks. On Thursday, a Lockheed Martin, and on Tuesday, GitLab. And we've got a couple other stock picks that are still in the works. So you can see all the stock picks for free by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial. You'll also see our daily triple Q, our daily SPY analysis, our weekly Apple stock analysis. So check us out at wickedstocks.com. You've got nothing to lose because you can bail out within 5 days at no cost to you whatsoever. But I think with everything that you'll see in the full suite of analysis that we provide you on a day in, day out basis, you'll see it is well worth the $47 a month that we ask. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Have a fabulous weekend. I'll be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's NVIDIA report.